When you go to create content for your business, your social media, blogging, or video, or emails, do you ever hear the question in your head, what do I say? Does that question, what do I say, go through your head sometimes as you're sitting looking at a blank piece of paper where you need to create this content? If this is something you've heard before, what do I say? Then you've come to the right place. We are going to talk today about what you should say, or more to point, how to figure out what you should say. Here's the thing is that question, what do I say, has a few different possible translations. You could mean a few different things about it. And so I want to get into three of them, three possible translations for the question, what do I say, and give you some specific tactics for managing that so that you don't run into this question. And it matters that you don't run into this question because it stops people cold. It can make an hour-long content creation process 3 hours long because you're staring at the blank paper and you've got to get this figured out before you can write. And it can stop some people cold because they can't get past the question. So we need to help you get past this question. So there are three possible translations for this question, what do I say? Let's start with the most obvious one and work our way to the more invasive translation. So the most obvious translation, what do I say, is, what's the topic I should write about, right? This is literally, you're looking at a blank page going, so what do I say today, right? And if this is your challenge, if you tend to sit down to create content and you're always like, but what do I say? And you don't know what to say because you've got a blank page, your best bet is to step back and create a list of topics first. Now, there's 2 steps to this, so here we go. First, you need to get clear on what topics in general are on the table and off the table. For example, I work with introverted business owners. I help them thrive in an extroverted marketing world. There's a lot in there. I help introverts, business owners. I help them thrive. What do I mean by thrive? I mean feel successful and show up and market and sell. There are specific things that I mean in an extroverted marketing world. There's lots of stuff in there that I can say, all right, based on that, here are all the topics that are on the table. And I can also say what's not on the table. So I don't talk about health coaching. I don't talk about earrings. I don't talk about cooking. I do talk about introverts, extroverts, marketing, mindset, digital marketing, right? It's very specific stuff. And now I've got my range to do step 2. So step 1 is what's on the table. Step 2 is, based on that, what can you talk about? And create a list. Now, here's the thing. Creating a list of topics is actually a mindset into itself. So your best bet is to grab a blank piece of paper, grab these ideas, what's on the table, right at the top, and then say, okay, based on that, what can I talk about? And create a list. It's a certain way of thinking, and it's much easier to just create a whole bunch of ideas all in a row because those ideas will build upon themselves, and you'll come up with a whole list so that the next time you sit down to write, you have someplace to go. Okay, what do I want to write about? I'm going to go to my list and be like, okay, here's what's on my list. This one's resonating for me today, and boom, off you go. So that's what I would suggest if what do I say translates to what is my topic today, and you're just tired of staring at a blank sheet of paper or a blank document. So that's number 1. Number 2, for how you can translate what do I say is, it might be, what is the right thing to say? Right? So you're not worried about what to talk about in general. You're worried about the right thing to talk about. You're not short of ideas, but you're short on clarity. And if this is something that resonates with you, if you're like, you're right, I just need to know what the right thing is. That last time we said step back, create the list. And this time we're saying step forward. Because in order to know what's right for your audience, you're going to need to put something out to your audience so that you can ask them, is this right? Is this right? You can also literally ask them, what do you want to hear about? But I want to point out that itself is also content. Just saying. So your best way to find out what the right thing to say is to put something out there and let your audience talk to you. Literally talk to you with responses, but also let the data talk to you. How well did each piece of content do relative to each other will tell you what they want and what they don't want. At first, it's going to feel a whole lot more hit or miss, but as you keep going, the data is going to tell you more and more, and you're going to really be able to narrow, and you're going to know what your audience wants to hear and how, and how to talk to them over time. You're going to figure that out, and you're going to have a lot less misses over time. But in order to find out any of that data, you're going to have to talk to them through your content and through your questions. So if what do I say for you translates to what's the right thing to say, then I encourage you to put your content out there and start talking to your audience, and they will talk back to you and tell you what does and does not work. And then just really monitor the data, monitor their comments, what works and what doesn't, and you'll find your answers to that question. Okay, so we just talked about what do I say being topic generation, what do I say, put them in the right place, being topic generation, or what do I say being what's the right thing to say. The third translation of this question, what do I say, is subtle but invasive. This one is one that I've seen really stop people in their tracks. And this translation is not really a question. It is more about self-talk. Because what do I say translates to what do I say that anyone wants to hear? And what you're saying behind that is all about, this one's about self-doubt and lack of confidence. This one is, it translates to no one wants to hear what I have to say, or I'm not sure what I have to say is valuable, or this isn't going to work. Why would I say this? Because nobody's going to want to hear from me. It all comes back to that self-doubt, right? You worry about people judging you for what you've got to say, or maybe you're not right. It's, there's a particular opinion and you're worried about people objecting. If what do I say translates to a lack of self-confidence or a feeling of vulnerability that just doesn't feel good, first and foremost, I hear you. Most of us run into this, especially early on, but most of us run into this. And it is therefore normal. And that's okay. I just want you to know that it's normal to feel this way, to have this self-doubt about putting content out there into the world where people are going to see it. Yeah, it's scary stuff. You feel vulnerable, you feel intimidated. And I've got a couple things for you to help you manage this challenge. First and foremost, probably not going to like this, but it's okay. We're dealing with fear here. And we're dealing with that discomfort, that lack of confidence. Waiting until you're ready, waiting until your courage, till this goes away, waiting until the fear settles down, you're going to be waiting a long time, because waiting will not eliminate these challenges. Taking action will eliminate these challenges, because it's in the taking action that you build your confidence. Because what we imagine is going to happen and what is going to happen are two very different things. And the worst one is the one we imagine is going to happen. What if negative? What if horrible things happen? What if they judge me? But you'll probably find that when you put it out there, it's not as bad as you think, and you might even get the positive responses you weren't expecting. Courage only exists in the face of fear. So if you're feeling fear, vulnerability, discomfort, the answer is to do it anyway, and to feel the courage, to rise up in your own courage and bravery, to put yourself out there, and that's where you'll find your courage. All of that being said, it's not completely wrong that some people aren't going to care about what you have to say, or might even judge you. They don't matter. The people that matter are the people you can help. You are here to help somebody. You have some knowledge, some understanding, something that will serve someone else. And the only way you can serve them is to put it out there to the people that do matter. And you're going to find them by putting your content out there. They will find you because your content will draw them to you. And aren't you doing them a disservice if you don't put it out there? If you don't put the information out there where they can find it, where you can help them. And then as they get to know you more, and as you get more courageous because you've done this over and over, you'll help them more and more, and some of them will become customers. So again, the people who do judge you, you don't need any of that negativity. They don't matter. There are people, or the people who don't care what you have to say, that's fine. They're not your customers. They don't matter. The people that matter are the ones that you can and do help because you choose to put yourself out there. One more thing. If you really are stuck in, but what I have to say doesn't matter, or who wants to listen to me, if you're really stuck in there, I invite you to flip that around, because you're worrying about you. And when it comes to your content and your business, the people you need to be worrying about are your audience. This isn't about you. This is about your audience. And so what will they say? What difference will you make in their world is what matters. Vulnerability is just part of it. And it's actually an indication that you're doing the right thing. So I invite you to focus outward to your audience, lean into that vulnerability, ride your wave of courage, and put your content out there where they can find the success and you can find your confidence. Because it is in your action, that you find the confidence you need to keep doing it. And the more you do it, the better you'll get. And the more you do it, the quieter this voice will get. So I hope you found this helpful. If you are doing content and you have some questions around where to put your content, I do have, if you haven't got it already, the Introvert's Tactical Guide to Digital Marketing. I invite you to download this. It is a list of the different channels that are best served, that introverts are best served with. It's a great place to go to help you get started or to get validation about where you are showing up online with your marketing. So grab this and you'll get a little bit more direction. But hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I'm always happy to answer them. That's it for now. I'll talk to you again soon.